ever wonder where all the money went? How is it that after all that hard work we put into building this country, after the generations of labor to build up our infrastructure, all the schools and hospitals, the libraries, highways, factories, and housing that we assembled by hand, that this country could be broke? All the physical resources are right there before us. This is the utopia that capitalism promised. A world of plenty where all the material needs were there for our taking. Building this was part of the public charter, to provide for the future. Yet now, after amassing all of this abundance, we cannot even afford to live in the country our grandparents built. Where did all the wealth go? Everybody seems to be looking around the room, chasing their tails for the answers, pointing and blaming in every direction, except for the obvious gorilla sitting in front of our faces. It's war. Though it literally costs in materials only $10,000 to build a house, it cost us nearly $10 million to destroy one on the other side of the planet. Multiply that by 60 years of overbloated Defense Department budgets, and you start to see the problem. We've warred ourselves into poverty. Oh, 9/11, 9/11! Here comes the chorus on cue to shut down any criticism. Yet, it was on 9/10 that Donald Rumsfeld announced that the Pentagon lost $2 trillion. That's $2 trillion left unaccounted for that will not be going to pay down our debt. This is money taken out of our education, health care, and other needed services. And just like that, the next day, it's all forgotten. Since then, the war budget has more than doubled, with us paying corporate contractors who receive no bid, cost-plus contracts on every last bolt and service, bleeding the taxpayers dry. At $1 million a minute, a decades-long war has emaciated America to the point where we've tightened the belt to the buckle and we're still no better off for it. With the sun staring down on us, with all that free energy, what are we doing fighting with anyone over oil? The fear that is used to manipulate this world into a permanent state of war exists for one sole reason, and it can be summed up in a single word: profits. The sale of arms and arsenals is extremely profitable for those involved. At every stage, from the invasions, ransacking and looting of lives and national resources, to the rebuilding efforts to replace what is destroyed in the wake, the systematic abuses of a capitalist economy ensure that a handful of elites become filthy rich, while the rest of us perish. That is what war is all about. Currently, in every single congressional district in this country, there is something being manufactured to support the war effort. By design, just enough jobs are created to promote war, that regardless of political affiliation, no member of Congress has the courage to stand up to their constituents and say this is wrong and immoral and needs to be ended. When the number of jobs we could create using the budget of a single Pentagon contract for the good of our society is compared to the weaponry they produce to kill, we are left staggering from hypocrisy. If by investing even a tenth of the budget for war into projects for peace, there would not even be a need for a military. If the militarization of our nation and the making of war have become the only sources of employment and development the economic system of capitalism can come up with, at the expense of the well-being and future of our entire population, then undeniably we are on the wrong path. The war economy has bankrupted America financially, morally, and spiritually. At the start of this latest round of madness in 2001, the talking point for going to war was that we would not allow anyone to destroy our greatness, that we would fight to protect our way of life. Yet, Here we stand, 13 years later, with our country gutted and crumbling from within, with more resources than ever being spent on fighting the shadows of our own paranoia. The real enemy of the people, the only enemy there is war itself. To defeat war, we must defund it. That means taking back control of our economy, taking the money away from war and instead investing back into our communities and infrastructure, into our children's futures, while we still have something to leave them.